Before kingdoms were drawn on maps, before thrones were carved from stone, before crowns marked the rulers of nations, destiny chose its heirs in silence. Across ages of war, glory, and unbroken tradition, one bloodline endured, carrying the weight of kings and the promise of renewal. And now, as the old world meets the new, a single name rises from this ancient lineage. A princess shaped by honor, strengthened by duty, born of a legacy older than empires. This is the dawn of Princess Leonor of Asturias, the warrior heir of an ancient royal house, stepping into a destiny centuries in the making. Like and subscribe to Future Queen Chronicle for more daily royal update. The palace stands silent in the early morning light. Familiar, predictable, eternal. But what if everything you think you know about royal heirs is wrong? Because behind those golden halls walks a warrior. Not in armor, not with a sword, but with a courage far sharper. Princess Leonor of Asturias is not merely preparing to inherit a throne. She is preparing to transform it. And nothing about her destiny will unfold the way tradition expects. From the moment she opened her eyes as the firstborn daughter of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, her future was sealed. But no amount of royal protocol could predict the fire she carries. A fire Spain has not seen in centuries. A steady, silent, unshakable flame. The flame of a warrior princess. Most royal children spend their childhoods sheltered behind palace walls. Leonor did too, but not in the way people imagine. She grew up not just in luxury, but in responsibility. While other children played without a care, she learned the difference between ceremony and duty. She learned how to speak without fear, how to listen without judgment, and how to stand even when her voice trembled. Yet beneath her elegance lived a question that followed her everywhere: how do you become a leader when your entire life is already decided? Leonor would answer that question not with words, but with choices that would surprise even her own family. Her father, King Felipe, taught her discipline. He raised her with the understanding that duty is not glamour. It is service. It is sacrifice. It is the weight of millions resting quietly on your shoulders. He saw her not just as a daughter, but as the next bearer of a legacy nearly 1,300 years old. Her mother, Queen Letizia, shaped the other half of her spirit. She taught her empathy, sensitivity, the ability to see beyond titles and into hearts. Letizia insisted that strength without humanity is not strength at all. And Leonor listened. She absorbed every lesson, every warning, every hope. But what neither parent expected was that Leonor would grow into something beyond both of their teachings. A force neither completely traditional nor entirely modern. A fusion of both worlds. A princess who would bow to duty, yet refuse to lose herself in it. This conflict, between expectation and individuality, became the battlefield of her youth. When Spain watched Leonor give her first public speech at 13, they saw dignity. They saw composure. They saw a future queen. But what they did not see was the fear she hid behind her calm expression, the trembling in her fingers, the racing of her heart. She delivered that speech not because she was ready, but because she refused to fall short of her country's hopes. And then, everything changed. At 17, she chose a path no one expected. She entered the military academy of Zaragoza. Boots, mud, discipline, sweat, pain, no crown, no privilege, no special treatment. The world stared in disbelief. But Leonor did not join the academy for show. She joined to become the kind of leader who understands the hardship of those she will one day command. The first weeks were brutal. Endless drills, early mornings, heavy gear, blisters, fatigue, days where the weight of duty felt heavier than the pack on her back. But she never quit, not once. Her instructors whispered among themselves, stunned. Her classmates watched her, inspired. And Spain looked at their princess with new eyes. A warrior princess is not born. She is forged. There was one day during training that became mythical among the cadets. A long-distance endurance march under relentless sun. Many struggled. Some stumbled. But Leonor, drenched in sweat, exhausted to the core, kept moving. Her breath unsteady, her legs trembling, her heartbeat loud in her ears. She did not lead the line. She did not try to impress. She simply refused to break. One soldier later said, "She has more courage than strength." And sometimes, courage is what carries you farther. That moment ignited Spain's imagination. Who was this young woman? Where did her quiet fire come from? How far would she go to prepare for her future? But the military academy revealed more than her determination. It revealed her humanity. She learned to take orders, not give them. She learned to rely on others, not stand alone. She learned to fail, to struggle, to sweat, to ache. And in doing so, she became more connected to her people than any royal title could make her. Yet behind the uniforms and training fields, another story unfolded. A personal one. A private one. One that created tension behind palace doors. As Leonor matured, the balance between her duty and her identity became increasingly delicate. Felipe wanted her to walk in his footsteps, steady, honorable, restrained. Letizia wanted her to embrace the world, be curious, open, unafraid of change. Leonor felt pulled in two directions. And at times, she wondered if she could be both daughter and future queen. One evening, during a private family discussion, the pressure reached its peak. Her parents debated her next steps, official duties, public appearances, diplomatic training. Leonor sat in silence, listening to their expectations collide. And then, with a gentle but resolute voice, she said, "I can only serve Spain well if I'm allowed to become myself first." That moment, quiet yet revolutionary, marked the true beginning of her destiny. Because a warrior princess is not defined by battles. She is defined by choices. Leonor began shaping her identity with deliberate steps. Small, private decisions. Quiet acts of courage. A growing awareness that she could carry the monarchy into a new era, not by mimicking the past, but by reimagining it. Her public engagements reflected this transformation. She was precise but warm. Formal but approachable. Reserved but undeniably present. When she met children, her smile softened. When she greeted soldiers, her posture straightened. When she spoke to leaders, her voice carried a surprising depth. People began to see her not as a symbol, but as a person. A young woman with dreams, fears, strengths, and a destiny she was no longer running from, but walking toward with steady confidence. But every rise invites questions. Curiosity, speculation, rumors about her personal life swirled. Friendships, possible relationships, opinions, choices. The media watched her every step, eager to define her narrative before she could define it herself. Yet she refused to be provoked. Refused to explain. Refused to let gossip shape her identity. This restraint created a new curiosity loop. What does she truly feel? What does she truly want? What kind of queen is she preparing to become? The answer emerged in moments the public rarely sees. Late-night study sessions as she prepared for diplomatic briefings. Long conversations with historians, learning the mistakes of monarchs. Before her, quiet hours spent reading letters from everyday citizens. Unexpected tears after stressful days. And small, private laughs shared with her sister Sophia, her closest friend, her mirror, her voice of reason. But the moment that revealed the deepest truth came far away from cameras. During a break from training, Leonor went hiking alone in the mountains. The air was thin and cold. The silence powerful. Standing on a ridge, staring at the vast landscape below, she felt both tiny and immense at once. She thought of her duty, her people, her future, and a realization settled over her like a cloak she finally felt ready to wear. I want to lead with strength, but also with heart. That sentence became her compass. As she stepped deeper into her royal responsibilities, her maturity became unmistakable. She asked better questions. She listened more intensely. She observed quietly, absorbing information with a calm hunger. In international meetings, leaders noted her poise, her presence, her ability to analyze without rushing, to respond without reacting. She was becoming something rare, a monarch who balances intellect and instinct. But the monarchy she will inherit is not the monarchy of the past. Spain, like the world, is changing fast. Tradition is challenged. Unity is fragile. The future unpredictable. And it is within this complexity that Leonor must rise. Her father will one day hand her a crown. But the crown she chooses to wear will not be made only of gold. It will be made of empathy, experience, discipline, and courage forged through fire. She will not lead from a pedestal. She will lead from the ground, from the heart. From the understanding that a modern queen is not untouchable, but reachable. Not feared, but trusted. Not distant, but human. And this is what makes her a warrior. Not the uniform, not the training, not the expectations she carries, but the way she faces the world, with quiet resolve, unwavering purpose, and an unbreakable spirit. Her story is far from over. In fact, it is just beginning. With every year, every challenge, every moment of growth, she steps closer to her destiny. Princess Leonor of Asturias, the fearless, the steadfast, the modern warrior princess rising to transform the monarchy she will one day reign. A young woman determined not just to inherit a kingdom, but to honor it, protect it, and reshape it for generations yet to come. Spain watches her, Europe watches her, the world watches her, because they sense the truth: a new kind of queen is coming. And she is bringing with her a future carved by courage. The warrior princess is rising. And her era is only beginning.